Hey, I'm live. Woo, woo. Hi, guys. All right, I'll stop being silly. Let me see. I haven't been live in a bit, so one would think I could get my act together, huh? Ha ha ha. But the coloring looks pretty good, right? Light looks good, which is usually my complaint. But what's not quite right at the moment is the position of my um camera, right? All right, so I don't think I need to so I'm gonna pull that out. And I have my mic on, so in theory, you guys can hear me. And I jumped the gun. So since I'm jumping the gun, because I did a scheduled live, it's not really supposed to go live until 3:45, and I'm a bit early. So I'm gonna fool around a little bit with my camera position because I want to be like in front. Contrary wife is getting a little bit bigger behind me. Way cool, way cool, way cool. So let's see if I can prop up my monitor. That's just what you need, right? Look at my ceiling. There you go. Can I get in? Maybe not. Uh, why is this always so tough? Why? Okay, so, oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. You can actually see my machine a little bit as I stitch. I have so many pet peeves. And one of them is like looking at a background because I know perpendicular or vertical and seeing that askewed kind of flips me out a bit. I'm looking at my sound and I wonder if it's up enough. It is. There's no way like to kind of do a demo on this thing. But I do have my mic on, and maybe I should move up my mic. I can kind of see it. I should done a dry run of this, huh? Maybe I should come out and come back in. Maybe because it's exactly on the 45 right now. All right. So let's see. How's that? Is that better sound? If not, turn the sound up on your side. I can't tell if it's better sound or not. So I was actually sewing with dark thread, which is so rare for me, but I was putting on a binding earlier today. So I had switched thread colors and went with a navy blue, but I'm going to go back to my standard, which is a taupey color. I like taupe. And I have a taupe in my hand, and actually, it appears to be a brand new spool of taupe. So I'm going to open it. I'm surprised it's brand new, honestly, as I look around. But this is like hanging out with me. It has been raining on and off for I don't know 5 or 6 days now. It seems all through the holiday weekend, and so I kind of got like maybe I should be appliquing an arc or something, or something to deal with all the rain water we were having. But my garden is looking like seriously like I'm a gardener. Okay. I'm just saying. So one of these lives has to be outside. Wow, that feels tight. One of these lives has to be outside. I wonder what's going on here. So that we can see the garden, right? See where I come up with inspiration for how I pick fabric sometimes. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah. How I pick fabric and all that kind of stuff by looking at what's growing in my garden, what's blooming, not just growing, what's blooming. Right now, if I wanted to do a sea of green, I could, because that's about all that's out there blooming. All right. I'm still, you would think I would do this on my own time. But guess what happens when you hang out with me in my studio? This is exactly what happens. So I'm just trying to get all this stuff out and put my normal in and not pick a bobbin that's getting ready to run out of thread, right? Okay, I'm going to go with this and load up everything. So I am back to doing the Einstein tessellation in my studio. And since the last time I did a live when I was working on it, I worked on it a little bit more. And let me tell you, it is coming along nicely. But I'm getting ready to run into a problem because the map I have, said map, is almost out. I am like over here on my map. So you see there's like no picture over here. So I'm going to have to give it a go. And what I discovered was kind of like a jigsaw puzzle that you could put several pieces in, and then, like, let's say 3 pieces, and then get to the fourth piece, and then realizing that doesn't go. And then you have to backtrack it all out. It just looks like it goes because it kind of looks like it fits, but it doesn't fit. And then you're going to have to backtrack. So it's a little nasty. But this is what we're doing. I'm building, can we see that? There you go. I'm building a circle. And I have numbers down and they're keys to me mentally where they are. So, because this thing it needs a map. I'm an engineer. It needs a map. So I have these little pieces of paper. They were Canadian maple leaves that are pinned on, that's doing a count. Then I have these white pieces of paper that are pinned on that tell me my reverse. And then this is my background fabric, this beautiful eggplanty color. And look, it's kind of like a tone on tone. It's kind of cool, very abstract-y. And so what I'm doing is, as I'm coming around, I want this thing to form a circle so that the Einstein piece is in the middle of it. And then the regular piecing, which is just a plain hexagon, will fill it up and to take me back to square. So one side, I'm over at a half circle. So I've gotten one side done, and now kind of coming up on the next. I was going to call it a quadrant, but it's not. It's a 6. So what, sextet? I don't know. How do you say 6? Somebody posted in the comments. And don't forget, subscribe if you like. I would like it that you subscribe. And don't forget, turn on your notifications. Even though I jumped the gun a little bit early, turn on your notifications. So when I am live, and one day they will be more consistent, you'll know it. So what I have is, usually my method to this is I lay it on the floor, I build a couple of pieces, and then I pin them in place, and then I come back to the machine and then stitch. So that's what I've done. And so now I'm going to try to get rid of some of my pins so I don't keep stabbing myself. But I am quite happy that I am approaching a circle. Oh my gosh, I didn't think I'd ever get this far. And but I'm not going to say, oh, I wish I hadn't finished because I missed doing it. That's not going to happen. All right, so what I'm going to do is just chatter with you a bit as I get some of these pins out. Now, the beauty of it, at least for me, is I tend not to press as I do this. So not having to jump up constantly, has its advantage. And, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm just going to remove some pins as I stitch a little bit and try to get this all joined in so that it makes the pretty picture. So this is my project in the studio today. I last night and earlier today, I did finish a binding, and one of my lives, I'll do a binding for you guys. But I did put a binding on, and I've had the quilt finished an awful long time. and it's one of my flannel quilts. It's in the flannel series. I think I'm going to needle up on this. It's in the flannel series, so I just got the binding on, and good thing, so I can turn it before the blazing heat hits Maryland. Because once the blazing heat hits, I'm not sure how thrilled I'm going to be with turning a flannel binding, right? So anyway, so that is, makes it a little bit challenging slash fun. But that's on, and it went on without much, you know, pomp and circumstance. It just made it happen. And I sewed that binding on. It's a wide binding for me. I cut my fabric at 3 inches instead of 2.5. And yeah. So when I did that, it allowed me, instead of putting on well, I would have never put on a 1/4 inch binding on a flannel, but I didn't even put 3/8, which is my normal. I put on a 1/2 inch binding. So it's a 1/2 inch wide binding. And it looks appropriate for the weight of that flannel. Oops, something came apart here. For the weight of the flannel, it looks very appropriate. So I had it to put the binding on earlier, and then the temperatures plummeted here in Maryland, and I actually grabbed the quilt to put on the bed so I could not freeze to death, because at one point I'm like, I don't want to put on my heat. Don't ask me. But I didn't want to do it. And then it seemed like something stupid of why wasn't I doing it? So you rather just freeze in the bed or what? So I got up and the quilt was handy. So I put that on top of the quilt I was under. So it felt like a weighted blanket at that point. I was under 3 quilts, but the temperatures were really plummeting after they had gone up to 90 some degrees. And to dip back down into the 50s was ridiculous. And that was like a high of 50. It's like, holy smoke. So we went from flip-flops, sandals, sundresses to puff jackets, boots. I looked like Paddington the bear because I had on my raincoat and galoshes. It was crazy. Anyway, so I am sort of happy about this, and the fact that some of the sub piecing. So when I do this Einstein tessellation, and you could see my label. Well, it's not my label, but the little piece I have in the back. You see where my fingers are on my background? So that's going to get put in. So I went ahead and made it so that when I get there, I can just drop it in the position. So all I'm sitting here doing is taking out pin by pin. And yeah, I know you can't see it. And I don't think, no, I don't think. I think once I start the lives, I can't switch cameras. I'm pretty sure that's how this rolls. It's kind of like, Facebook, that you got to dance with the date who brought you kind of thing. So I am pointing down-ish so you can see me. But you know what? I wonder if, no, I'm not going. Oh, I got 4 people online. I think I have my chat up if you guys want to say hi and that kind of thing. So, but I think the next one, and I may do one right after that, right after this, do a little short one and see if what happens if I kind of do use my other camera, because that would be something new. I'm supposed to be learning these things as I go. But the big thing I'm trying to do right now is get some of these doggone pins out the way so I can not stab myself, and keep the project from falling apart on me. And but if you want to see how I scrunch up my shoulders and I have to think shoulders down, yoga really helps in quilting. So I got a question for you. Um, if you quilt, let's assume that maybe you do, or you have a art area, or you do crafting or something. Is Why is that your happy place? Does it really release tension and stress when you're there doing it, or what kind of projects do you like working on? Do you like challenging projects that stretch you? Or do you like, oh my gosh, my life is so stressed, I want a no-brainer? What floats your boat when you're in your space? And do you have dedicated space? I mean, I am very fortunate that I do, and I pretty much have always had dedicated space. So I don't know what life is like having to sew, on the dining room table, and also having to feed the family on that same table. Or maybe you use the dining room table and you feed the family in the kitchen. Don't know. So yeah, I don't know what that looks like for some people. Anyway, so this is what I'm doing. And you can see kind of where my hand comes out. That's where I'm trying to get stitched in. That's where my pins are sitting. And you can kind of see the holes as I peek through. Can you see me peek through? There's my eye. Looks a little scary, doesn't it? So that's really what I'm just trying to methodically do, is lift pins up, stitch things down. And like I said, some of the beauty of this is I don't need to iron as I go. I am iron free, and then I'll iron it. Now, when I first started this, because I was stitching it so slowly, I would get up and iron a bit, and my seams were so neat. I stopped doing that. It's not like you shouldn't do it. I just stopped and decided, you know what? I'm just going to turn that puppy to the front and take the side of my iron, a nice warm iron, and just kind of glide my iron across it, called smushing. And wherever that seam goes, guess what? It's a-okay. When I finish this, it will be long armed. So with that, I have a little luxury that my long armor doesn't yell at me and complain about seam direction, because it's going to be edge to edge and not custom. So that should help a bit, right? That should help. But if I had to do it myself on a domestic and I needed to go in a ditch, it would be quite annoying at some point that the ditch kept moving around and sometimes the seams were twisted. So I haven't had to do a butterfly seam yet, because I'm able to stitch quite a bit before I actually have to start doing some inset seams here, as I kind of get this organized on how far can I piece before I have to do an inset seam. And that is what I'm doing now. Yep. So what are your plans for this summer? And I had planned to teach a class, but unfortunately, I'm having difficulties with my new learning platform, not trying to play nice. So I can't get my stuff loaded to actually offer the course. And every day I hope we're one day closer. Oh, you found me by happy. Hi, Jackie. Well, I'm glad you found me by a happy accident. I'd like to be a happy accident. So I can't get my course loaded, because the platform I just bought is not playing nicely with my with the rest of the moving parts. And with technology, I swear everything is a moving part. So that makes it a little bit challenging. I'm getting there. These pens are getting less and less so that I can figure out what I'm doing. And there was like, a rhyme and a reason to, oh gosh, none of this is stitched. There was a rhyme and a reason to what I'm doing. And I have like a rhythm, so to speak, to make this happen. And I don't know. I mean, I taught it once, and I'm not sure I want to teach it again unless there's like a whole bunch of quilters kind of beating down my door. But I am excited because I make very few quilts for me, and this is one of them. So I'm kind of happy about it. I keep changing the name of the project to the name of what I'm going to name my quilt. The name of what I'm doing is called an Einstein Tessellation, but eventually my will actually have its unique name. I'm listening to, okay, I got that. I got a lot of pins in this one little section because I didn't even piece the sub pieces. So, okay, so let's keep talking. I wanted to do something for Memorial Day. That didn't happen. So now my next big day, if I'm going to debut this runner, is for 4th of July. And it's so simple to make. Most of you guys are going to be able to knock it out in probably one long day. So I will run the class, put the videos up, and maybe launch it with a live and then let you guys go on your own and just kind of hang out a bit to answer questions and, kind of take it from there. Wonder how can I get this piece on? I don't know. All right. I'm thinking, did I go as far as I could without I get all the pins I have out, in, out, out. I just don't want to stab myself because these pins are so doggone sharp. So I know I definitely push polygons because I am the polygon queen, and I know you know that by now. There's nobody else on the market that's in the industry that does polygons the way I do polygons. It's a unique look, and I love it when you kind of take off and do your own thing, and you have a technique, and you're all inspired, and you're happy campers. So that is really good. So I think what I'm going to do, because I like to stay on camera because I think sometimes when you kind of go off camera, you go off camera. But I think I may be able to, I'm just trying to see how many seams I have, to turn my monitor down and so that you can see my the bed of my machine. And I still have some pins that I could get rid of here. And then I could sew a whole group. So I'm going to bend my camera, because I'm on the laptop and I'm not on my overhead camera. So let me bend this down. And so you're not just staring at my chest. How's that? Oh, look at that. And actually, it's not going to help me, but it may help you. Nope. And then I'm too low. You see, I'm adjusting for you guys. I don't know. What I think I want to do, how about we're 24 minutes in. So how about I stop the live and hey Cheryl, how are you? I stop the live and I'm gonna come right back on. I'm gonna see if I can get and go with my overhead camera and record from up here. Let's see what it looks like. And while we're still all together, let me find where is the cord for this. Make sure I'm plugged in. And then we can see, right? Oops, gosh, what is that? What am I doing? Did I break it? How did I? Oh, yes, Kylan, you broke it. There you go. I just heard it click on. Oh, something flashed. Hey, you know what? Maybe I can do this. Let me see. I got to find my remotes so I can play with my camera. Okay, let's see. This is like a super experiment, and it may screw up, but if it screws up, I'll come right back. I don't know what happened there. Because I see this little, you don't have access to this feature, huh? I'm looking at, there's a little camera on the side, and it's telling me I don't have access. So it looks like I'm going to have to end the stream, come right back in. How's that? And let me see if I can switch. You know, it's interesting because it can do a share screen. Hold tight. Let me see what happens if I share my screen. Okay, hold tight. Let me see. Choose what to share with your studio um, uh, window. Nope. I also share system audio. I don't see anything fun that I have. Evidently, I needed something open to do that. And it doesn't let me go to an alternate camera like when I'm on Facebook. So that doesn't help me any, does it? Nope. So let's do cancel. And let me share my screen again. Share entire screen. Nope, that doesn't help. All right, so that's out. So what I really need to do is come out and come right back in. So hang tight, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop and then come right back in. All right, bye.